inspiring entrepreneurs and visionaries. Welcome to another Monday Night Live training, where your journey to business success accelerates. Join us for insights, strategies, and tools to elevate your business while keeping your budget in mind. It's time to transform your passion into profit. Your host, Corey von Bill Costa, is about to take the stage. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. The future of your business starts now.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another Monday Night Live. I'm just letting everybody know that we're in the building. All right. Join us live. That's what we're typing. But shout out to you all who want to catch us live. I know that Mondays are a lot, especially in the summertime. I did a live earlier today when I kind of talked about the fact that I get it. We out here trying to survive in the summertime with kids and with other responsibilities. So I am really excited for all of those who can join us live, but I also totally understand. So shout outs to all of our folks that watch us on the replays as well, or who are watching the clips, or who are engaging with us in any and all ways. Shout outs to all of you. I'm so excited. This marks 2.5 years of Monday Night Live. So I'm always excited that we are able to keep this going. I love that this segment allows everyone access to a lot of information that can really be applied to their business right away. When we started to do these Monday Night Lives, or even thinking about what this, show or series was going to be about, it was all about creating a space where people could come and get snippets, right? Snippets of information quickly and be able to implement right away. I love reels, y'all, but they are so short that oftentimes we just get to just introduce a topic. With the Monday Night Live series, we're able to not only introduce a topic, but go into a little bit more depth on why it's important, give resources, give tips, give challenges on how to implement it in your business. And we do it all in about 30 so minutes once a week. And so that was the idea. And I'm just so excited that we are being able to continue this on and see the benefits of this program. I love when I meet people out and about. They're like, oh yeah, I be catching the Monday Night Lives, or I love the Monday Night Lives. And so we're going to keep doing this at least to the end of the year. I'm excited to kind of see too. And if you're a business owner, sometimes you just want to try different things out. I am interested to see possibly what some new segments might look like. I know that we are thinking about adding another one on this year, but it won't be on Mondays. And then I'm interested to see, what if we continue Monday Night Lives, what does that look like? Or if we decide to do a new segment, what will that look like? But we're gonna be doing something. So don't worry, we're not gonna disappear. But I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit, because it is hard, I think, for anybody to have a show and be consistent at it for this long. And not every show has to be this long. Don't think I'm saying that, but I am proud that we've been able to continue this for so long. So shout out to us. All right. I'm just making sure LinkedIn knows we are live. Just put a comment. All right. So everybody should know that we are live in the building. And so now we can get started. And also feel free, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, feel free to comment. I try to look at the comments as I go, but I also make sure to come back and engage and answer questions and things like that. Also, shout out to the DM warriors. You guys be in the DMs, getting your questions answered. So feel free to DM me as well. I will say, guys, I rarely check on Facebook, they have a little thing where it's if you're not a friend, those messages. So just be mindful, if we are not connected as friends, it may be more beneficial at least to leave me a comment saying, hey, check your inbox. Because then I can look for your message versus you just putting it there and we're not connected as friends, and then I don't ever, see it, or I see it months later. So just because I get some things are more private, or you don't want everybody to know what you got going on. DMs are fine. Just let me know so that you're not like, where's this girl? Because I try to make sure I respond to everyone pretty quickly. All right. So what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about why your sales pitch isn't working. So this month, the month of July, we really have been putting a lot of emphasis on sales, right? Sales calls, because it's cool to do all the other stuff, right? But we got to sell. That's how we keep the lights on. That's also how we, do things for our audience. It always interests me when people put comments out into the world. They're like, why can't this be free? Why can't this be free? Guys, one thing I will tell you is most of the business owners I know do offer free things. But when I tell you the results of those free things are never as high as the paid things. And this is why. It's not because the content isn't great. It's because people who do not pay tend to not pay attention. And so, yes, there are free things. This is free right here, right? People don't think about that. Like this broadcast is free to you. It costs me to use the software and to do some additional backwork things. You guys are getting email reminders. You're getting the pretty slides and all of that. Yes, in year 2, I was not making all these slides myself, so I had my intern make them. But yeah, it costs me money. But we still put this on for you completely free, right? We also have a blog. If you didn't know, shout outs to the people who read the blog. It's a lot of you. I didn't realize that till recently. I was like, oh, our blog names are amazing. But yes, we have a blog completely free. We put out content every single week. If you're on our email list, you get a free value email every single week where we're just not selling you a thing. We're just giving you resources and information. What else? Sometimes we have freebie like PDFs you can grab real quick. We also have a podcast where we bring on experts, all different kind of backgrounds that support you guys, completely free to watch it or listen to it. So there's plenty of free things out here. That was just a few things. Like we're having the masterclass, and I'll talk more about that too on August 1st. Another free thing. We've done several free summits and master classes and different things in the past as well. But like I said, people don't pay. They tend to not pay attention. They don't execute as much, I guess, as they would had they had a little skin in the game. So no, not everything is free, and you shouldn't go into your business putting everything for free, because again, how will you make it? How will your business survive? How will it thrive? How will you be compensated for all of your time, your energy, your know-how, the money you've invested in the programs? So if that makes sense to you, you're like, okay, get it. I got to sell. Then this is a talk you want to listen to. And if you missed any of the other talks we did in July, I encourage you to go back and listen to them, because we do short snippets each week over the same topic. You may be thinking like, oh, I feel like I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. Go back and watch one of the previous Mondays in July, because it may give you a little bit more context to what we're talking about today. All right, now that we got into that, let me actually introduce myself, because we always have new people watching. Wherever you're watching from, I think right now we're Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hi, everyone out there, whether you're watching live or the replay. I'm Corey Foster. I'm a speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm a business coach that specializes in all things implementation in your business, right? Whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's creating offers, whether it's operations, we are here to support you to actually get things done in your business. And then I also am the CEO of IROC, Marketable Business Solutions, which is a small business marketing firm based out of Virginia, but services coaches and consultants all over the country. We've been around for 6-7 years, somewhere in there. I gotta go look at the date. I don't remember, but 6-7 years. And we have been able to help over 100 small businesses since we started, and it's been amazing. And this is what I feel like I was put on earth to do, is to really support you guys where you are and really help you grow into profitable, sustainable, scalable businesses. All right, so that's enough about me. Let's get into it, because you guys know I look at the clock. I got a little clock here that's going. We already 10 minutes in. We got to get cracking. All right, so what are we going to cover today? We got 3 objectives. We're going to identify the key elements of a strong sales pitch, right? Because we got to know what's going to work. What do we need to have in this pitch to actually get people to say yes? Secondly, we're going to learn how to tailor your pitch to what your audience actually needs. A lot of you are just pitching to the air basically, and you're not tailoring the pitch to your exact audience and to what they actually are needing and wanting and craving from you. You're just doing like these generic pitches that really aren't tailored to anybody specifically. And then third, we're going to make pitching feel more natural, not stiff, not forced. I get that the idea of sales can, one, be foreign to some, but also feel kind of icky to others. And we want to get that off of you guys. We want you guys to feel comfortable. We want you to understand the mindset behind sales, but we also want you to feel like what you're doing is ethical, right? I get it. Sometimes you're like, well, this is my offer, but you have that kind of apprehension inside of like, oh, I don't know if I should charge this much, or, maybe, I don't know, whatever your case may be. You got a lot of thoughts around why selling isn't, an important part or not a pleasant part of business. And we want to just change your mind on that. All right, so let's dive in. I like to start with a question. And the reason why I repeat myself, y'all, if you actually are tuning in all the time, I know the first few minutes are repetitive, but we do it for a reason. The reason why there are questions in our Monday Night Live is because we are kind of going quickly. You're only getting 30 minutes. I need you guys to understand why these topics are important to you in your business and your business journey right away, right? I know they're important, right? But I want you to understand it, because again, if you don't care, right? If this is just somebody talking in your ear and you're like, this doesn't mean nothing to me, you're not going to want to implement. And so that's why we have these questions. So I encourage you, when you see the questions pop up, you'll see it because it's always this blue screen. It says question. I want you to think about it. I want you to answer it in your mind, or answer it on a piece of paper, or drop a comment in the chat, whatever you need to do. But these are important because they allow you to see kind of where you are and what your thought process is. So as we get into the meat of everything, you kind of understand this may be something I need to work on, or hey, I got this piece on lock. Let me wait for the next piece. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so first question of the day. When you pitch your offer, right? You're in the sales call or you're face-to-face, you ready to close the deal. You pitch your offer. Do people lean in like, oh, hey, tell me more? Or do they lean back and they're like, I don't know about this, right? Which one happens? And it could be that maybe you have some like signature offers that you've been selling for a while, so you got that on lock, and so people do lean in. But maybe you have a new offer, maybe a bigger offer than you've ever created before. Maybe it costs more than you've ever put out before. Maybe you're doing something in a really new way. Maybe you pivoted a little bit and you're going to be engaging with your audience in a different way. Are people leaning into that offer, or are they leaning out, right? Are they saying, yes, I want this? Or are they saying, I don't know if this is for me? This is important to know, because this kind of lets you know, do you need to work on your sales pitch? Because if you're thinking like every offer I do, if I get on a call with them, I'm a seller. You know what I mean? Like they lean in, they ready, they just begging me to swipe their card. If that's the case, come teach this. But if not, we may have some work to do. All right, so I want to kind of put this thought out here for you guys, just to kind of set the tone for what we're going to be talking about, or set the scene, shall I say, because we've all had those moments when we explain what we do to somebody, right? And we either get like those blank stares, they're like, huh, or a polite nod, or even worse, right? Somebody will say, oh, that sounds great. I'll think about it, right? And we're like, wait a minute, hold on. I got this amazing offer. What are we doing here? So tonight we're going to fix that. We're going to be really talking about this sales pitch, and we're going to talk about it in various levels to kind of make it really clean, really easy to understand. Because the problem usually, when I work with clients, the problem usually isn't what you're selling, because a lot of you keep going back and retweaking the actual offer of the product. It's actually how you're pitching it. Because that's the issue. It's like, how are you putting it out in the market? What messaging are you using? And even more importantly, and what we're talking about tonight, is how are you presenting it in your sales call when you're actually trying to close the deal? Okay. So if we look here at this slide, it says a pitch is not a paragraph about your process. It's a promise of transformation. And that's one thing we've been hitting on every single week we've talked about sales, is the idea of transformation. A lot of entrepreneurs focus on features, what's included, all the things, everything that's like, oh, I worked on this. You got the resource library, you got this, you got that. And people really care at the end of the day about the transformation they're going to have. How are they going to get from their problem to where it's no longer a problem and it's a solution? Like, how do I get from point A to point B? Right? The other stuff is cool, but if I don't have buy-in that I need the product, then I don't care about, 12 sessions. I don't care about one-on-ones. I don't care about free event tickets. I don't care about none of that. I need to know that I need this because it's going to transform me in some way that I am seeking to be transformed. So focus on these 3 core pieces when you're thinking about your sales pitch. 1, again, the problem the client is facing. If you don't know the problem, right? If your offer wasn't created around a problem, let's back up. If your offer was not created around a problem, we have work to do. But when you go to speak about the offer, that problem should be at the forefront of your mind because that is the anchor that is going to move the conversation. Next, you need to be thinking about the solution of the offer, right? I've asked people before when they've come to me like, hey, can you help me market this thing? I'm like, okay, what's the problem you solve? And what's the solution that you're going to have for them, right? The solution should be the product. The problem that it solves should be whatever you're doing in the process. People will have a whole offer created, and I mean like already in the course platform, checkout window done, and be like, can you market this? And it don't solve the problem. It just gives a whole bunch of information. It's like, okay, what now? Like I always ask people, where are people when they start your program? And people are like, huh? Where are they? And then where are they at the end? Because information is cool, but how many of us are sitting down reading encyclopedias? Probably no one. Why? Because if it doesn't matter to us, right? If it's not solving the problem we have right now that's aching inside of us, we don't really care about it. Like we're not about to go out here and seek and spend a whole bunch of time getting information that means absolutely nothing. So the problem your client is facing, the solution of your offer, like what problem does it solve, and then the result they can expect. Now, keep in mind, results may vary. Like, let's just be real, especially in the coaching and consulting world, results do vary. But if we look at our data, let's say the majority of people who go through your program and actually do the program, what result can they expect, right? What result can they expect? This is where you talk about that transformation. You can expect to be transformed by X, Y, and Z. When you leave, you'll be able to X, Y, and Z, right? And bonus, if you have a client story, testimonials, anything like that, where you can share that this has worked for someone or someone's, that's also going to help your pitch as well. All right, so let me give you another question, a little room for thought. Are you answering the questions they're actually asking you? So you're on the sales call. Are you actually answering the questions they're asking of you, or are you just answering what you want to answer? Right? And I ask this, you might be thinking, that sounds crazy. I'm asking this because oftentimes, especially too, if you have a sales script already, you're like on autopilot. Think about, for instance, when you get on a call with like a telemarketer type thing, they know if you say yes to something or no to something, they go to the next question. But sometimes what you say doesn't quite fit in, and the next thing they say doesn't quite fit. That's some of y'all. You guys are kind of on this thing where you're going, and you're not listening to what your prospective client is saying. You're not listening to the things your ears should perk up on when they have apprehension, or they may have some common objections. You're not hearing that because you're just on autopilot. Right? Even still, if we backtrack before the sales call, some of you are creating offers that your clients aren't even asking for. You're like, hey, I'm gonna make this because this could be cool. But your audience may be asking for something totally different, a different solution and a different type of format, what have you. Sometimes what's easiest for us to make is not going to be the easiest for our audience to enjoy or be able to be transformed by. So this is kind of a two-part question. It can go for your offer, but it also can go for the sales call itself. All right, so let's talk about tailoring the pitch because that's what you guys came for. So tailoring the pitch for your client. All right, so the first thing, your pitch should feel like it was made for that person. Yes, you may do this pitch 100 times, 100 different people. It should always feel tailored to the person that is in front of you. Yes, I talk about having a script all the time. It can definitely help you stay on track, especially for those of us who like to turn a sales call into a coaching session, right? We're trying to solve that problem right now. And it's like, no, stick to the script. But like I said, I should say stick to the script, but also customize. There we go. That's a better way of framing it. But your pitch should feel like it was made for them. So it should have elements that show them that you see them and who they are and their needs. You need to make sure you're listening, right? Listen before you lead. A lot of us want to just bulldoze through those sales calls, get them over, but you really should be using the call to get to know the person, to listen to their specific challenges, their specific struggles, their specific objections. And a way to help you with this is to gather information beforehand, right? One, you need to put out information so that you're attracting the right audience, right? So that you kind of know where they are. They have a little bit of understanding about what it is you do. Then when it comes to your intake, so before they can book the call, you need to have a way to gather some more information. So obviously you're gonna gather their name, their phone number, their email. That's typical. But also throw a couple questions on that call sheet, when they're about to book, to ask them. Maybe you know that the majority of people come to you for 3 main reasons. Ask them, are you here mostly for this, or this? Does this, this phrase connect with you more? Like, which phrase connects with you more? You could even put some questions about budget. Have they done this type of program before, right? Get some basic fillers out there so that you know where their mindset is, where their pocketbook is, where their struggle is before they hop on the call, because that will allow you to tailor the questions more to them and feel more prepared going in. Because again, we're trying to make you feel more confident in the process. Help yourself by gathering as much information as you can beforehand. But I'm going to put a caveat on that. People do not want to fill out a 20, piece survey prior to getting on a call. That is going to keep your numbers low. Yes, we want a couple of questions, and I say a couple of questions prior to, but it should not be your onboarding form for like once they're a client. You get a chance after they say yes to get a full onboarding situation happening. This is not the same thing. So make sure it's simple, because I've had people do huge forms just to get on a call. And I'm like, I would never. I don't care who you are. I'd be like, nah, I'm good. this ain't that deep for me. So keep that in mind as well. Do not put so many hurdles in front of them that they don't even want to do a call with you. And then mirror their pain points on the call. Use the language they're using and describe the outcome that they're going to get during your pitch as well. I always tell, I always tell my clients that realistically, they should be leading the call, but the prospective client should actually do most of the talking. Let me say that again. You should be leading the call, but the prospective client should be talking more than you. If you find that you are doing most of the talking, you have probably already lost out on that call. Okay, you're going to be using, we talked about this before, using a lot more open-ended questions, because the whole point of this, especially the first part of the conversation, is to get to know them and get to know their pain points and struggles, right, as it relates to your offer. That's your main thing. The middle section of your sales call is more about building the rapport and showing them that you get it, you understand, and you want to help them. And then the last part is just offering it and cleaning up any last questions, comments, or concerns, right? But you can't even get to the last part if you haven't done the first two. So just keep that in mind. So let's give you a quick example before we move on. So don't say, I offer weekly strategy sessions and a content plan. Instead say, you'll finally have a plan that removes the guesswork so you can post with confidence and get consistent leads. Right? Which one sounds better? In the first one, you're saying, hey, I'm going to give you some strategy sessions and a content plan. That's cool and all. But if I'm somebody who is struggling, right, with, trying to figure out what I'm going to be posting, if I'm somebody who lacks confidence and consistency and I'm not bringing in consistent leads, I don't know when you say that what's going to solve that problem is strategy sessions and a content plan. Sounds cool, but I don't know if that's going to solve my problem. But if you know, like we're talking and I'm like, yeah, I'm really struggling. I feel like I don't ever know what to post. I get leads here or there, but it's not consistent. I'm not super confident when I pitch my offer. Like if I'm saying that to you and you come back and say, you know what? We got something for you that will remove the guesswork, that will help you post with confidence and get consistent leads. I'm like, yeah, right? I don't know how you're going to get me there, right? But you're going to get me there, right? Cool. So keep that in mind. Every pitch should feel like a solution to a problem that they just told you about in the call, right? That's the whole point of it. It should feel like the solution to the problem that they came for. All right, there we go. Let's go to our next question. What if your pitch, I don't even know why I wrote it like this, but what if your pitch didn't feel like a pitch at all? Okay, I had to read the whole thing. I was like, why did I write that like that? But anyway, yeah, so what if your pitch didn't feel like a pitch at all? So some of you are stressed out in these calls because you don't like the feeling of being like, and here we go, right, to the offer. But it doesn't have to feel like that. I really feel like the best sales calls that I've done are just conversations, right? Now they're tailored conversations. I'm not saying I'm out here just willy-nilly in it, but they are tailored conversations. But they feel conversational, right? If the person that is on the other side of the screen, because I do a lot of virtual calls, they're not thinking like, oh, this is a script. I feel like, just a call going down the assembly line. It's like, no, when people leave those calls, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too hard, but this is just the honest truth. I've had people cry on the calls. I've had people say, oh my God, I just feel seen. Oh my God, you get it. Like they, even if they don't buy, they leave with a feeling of like, I'm not crazy. Somebody gets it. I think this thing could be a thing, right? Like they're ready to go. And like I said, sometimes they close, sometimes they don't, but they leave feeling seen and heard. That's how they should feel. And they don't feel that way when they feel like you're just reading a script. They don't. They feel that way. They leave with that sense of, yes, that was a nice call. It was worth my time, when you're really connecting to the heart of them, right? And I think some people try to take the heart out of business, and you can't. You can't, because when people's money's involved, their hearts are involved. They're like, hold on now, I gotta care about this, especially for our high ticket sales. They got to know that it's going to be able to make a big difference in them. So we got to make sure that we're being conversational, right? We're being conversational. We're able to adjust as needed, and everything isn't so strict when we're going through our script. All right. Here we go. I had to make sure I was in the right spot. All right. So let's make pitching feel more natural for you guys who are like, I still feel a little pushy. All right. So 3 elements we're going to go over. All right. First, you don't have to sound like a robot or the script, right? And I just said that. You don't have to feel like you're locked into, these are the words I must say every single time. When we develop your script, and again, if you come to masterclass, we'll talk more about this. We make it so that there is steps, right? That we know we need to follow, things we need to hit, but there's so much room for improv. There's so much room for different things to come up in conversation. There's room for you to show your personality, for you to hear them and adjust to what they're saying. And that's what you want to have. You don't want it to be like I said, those telemarketers where, all right, Mr. Don, thank you for this, and here's the next step. Like, we don't want it to be that way for you, right? We want it to feel like you're old friends, and your friend is telling you about a struggle they're having. You're like, I got a solution. I think I can help you with this. Right? And they're like, oh my God, thank you. That's the way the call should feel. I want you to, while you're in the midst of this call, share a real client result to build credibility, if at all possible. Why? Because this allows people to see that you are not like a scam. That's what we're going to call it. There's a lot of people out here scamming folks, and it sucks. And a lot of people have got at least once. At least that's my experience in the industry I'm in. And so try to, if you can, share results. Now, what I do not suggest, because some people are really extra, they be like, can I have the contact information from a previous client? No. Like, what my previous client want to talk to you about? You know what I mean? Like, no, because none of my clients sign up to be being called for references, right? But I do show examples. So make sure that you have examples, if at all possible. And if you have none, If one, actually back up, one, it doesn't have to be from the exact same program, because sometimes you're launching a new program and you have people who've been in other things that have worked with you who've gotten success. You can still use those so you have testimonials from that program. Now, if you're brand new and you have no testimonials from your offer, a lot of times you have done similar-ish work, probably for free. And if that's still a no, you don't have that, then do a beta test and tell people it's a beta test, get a couple people in it, and then get the feedback. So then when you do raise your prices, amen, or you're ready to, do more pitching, you have that. But it is a great resource because it's like show versus tell. I can tell you about how amazing this program is and how it will transform your life, but let me show you that it's done it for somebody similar to you, right? So, like, we do a lot of social media management on our marketing side. I'll show people like, hey, these are 3 clients I have right now that are doing just fine, that were in your package. Or these are previous clients, because I try to find clients that do something similar to what they do. These are clients I've had in the past that are in your industry that we were able to support. Right? Cool. Now, if they want to try to dig and connect with them, that's their business, but I don't personally give out people's personal information. All right. So that's something to think about as well, is just kind of sharing a real person or a client's results that you can be like, hey, here's the proofs in the pudding. And then also use everyday language, not business jargon. Keep it simple, guys. They don't need to know, oh, we're gonna get some SOPs and some blah blah. Like, we're going to help you with your operations. We're going to make sure that you got systems set up to support the goal you have, right? Because they don't know what this stuff means. And again, we want them to lean in, not lean out. And every time you say something they don't understand, they're going to feel like they're not ready and they're going to lean out. Or they're going to have questions that are going to slow the process that's going to make them lean out. So just keep it basic. Keep it really basic. Don't talk down to them, but keep it basic enough where they understand and you can move through the process quickly. Okay? So those are the 3 little tidbits I'm going to give you. All right. So look, that's how fast we get good today. We only had 30-something minutes. All right. So what did we cover? We covered that great pitches are clear, relevant, and human, right? We talked about, we ain't got to be robots. We focus on outcomes, not the outline, right? We're not going to just tell everybody this is all the features that it includes. We're going to talk about the outcome, the transformation. And we're going to make it about the client, not about ourselves, right? I get we love our products, but we're going to explain why it's important to them based on the things that they tell us about, the things they're struggling with, the things that they're nervous about or challenged by. Okay, so those are the things that I hope you got out of our talk today. Now, I'm always going to challenge you. So here is your implementation challenge of the week. This week, I want you to rewrite your pitch using your ideal client's top 3 pain points. And practice saying it out loud this week, right? So you're going to have your basic script. And if you don't have one, you need to get our masterclass. Tell you more about that in a moment. But rewrite whatever pitch you've been using or put something together. Maybe you've just had a couple of conversations. They haven't even been full pitches. Fine. Put something together, but make sure that you're using your ideal client's top 3 pain points. And if you don't know them, we gotta learn. You may have to do a little work, but figure them out. And practice saying your pitch out loud so that you hear it. So the first time you say it, it won't be in a sales call. You can practice it on a family member. Heck, you can talk to a stuffed animal, talk to your dog, your cat, whoever, but say it out loud and start getting that muscle memory of you pitching your offer. Now, I've been mentioning, and I'll put it bigger on the screen here. I've been mentioning our masterclass. So we are bringing back our master classes. We took a little hiatus from virtual events because we're doing lots of other things. As a matter of fact, let me take this off so you can't see. Where is that? There we go. All right. So yeah, we used to do master classes, I think like at least one a month back in the day. We're not going to get one a month, I don't think. We're going to see. We'll see. But we got one coming up August 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, these master classes are free. Let me say it again. Master classes are free, right? They're virtual, so you don't have to be getting up doing all the things, but you do need to sign up. And I forgot. Look, I'm up here talking. I wrote a pitch for you guys. Let me do it. Hold on, let me back up. Pretend like you ain't seen this before. Let me back up a slide. Do your challenge for the week. All right, here we go. All right. Are you answering the questions they're actually asking, or the one that you want to answer. Okay. Because here's the truth. Most sales calls fail not because your offer is off, right? But because your pitch wasn't personalized enough to hit home. In this free masterclass, there it is. In this free masterclass, I'm walking you through how to tailor your sales pitch so that your ideal clients don't just hear you, they see themselves in your solution. All right, so what are we going to cover during this masterclass? Actually, a lot of people have asked that. I'm jumping off my script, but a lot of people have asked, what are you covering? We're covering 3 things: how to build a pitch that feels custom made without overthinking it, how to listen strategically during the intake so your pitch writes itself, and how to reflect your client's exact words, pain points, and goals to build trust fast. In the talk we just did, you got a little bit of that, but we're going to actually dive in. If you haven't experienced my actual coaching session with me, whether it be a one-on-one or a power hour or group presentation, when we have more time, we go a lot deeper. So it's not just me talking like this. You'll actually be able to do some work on your own. We'll give you some worksheets for this masterclass so that you can be building these things out, so that you actually have a ready to go solution at the end. So this masterclass is for you. If you've been booked but burnt out because your calls aren't converting, you're tired of sounding like everyone else on your sales calls, you want your sales calls to close with clarity and confidence. If that is you, join us August 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, this is free to attend. The link is on your screen. Now, what I will say, because it always happens, is someone will be like, oh, I think I might want to go, but then they don't register, and then like, can I get the replay? No. Only way you get the replay is if you register, and replays will only be available for 7 days following the event, because the whole point of this is we want you to implement now. So I'm giving you what you asked for. You wanted it free. You wanted a deep dive. You wanted the script built out. Okay? You wanted all the things. We got it for you for free August 1st. So don't miss out. Again, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can use the QR code on your screen or the link. It's also a link in the description of this Monday Night Live. Ooh, that was a long pitch, but I wanted to give you an example. I was like, let me write one for the folks, right? Because I don't want you guys working harder, right? I want you to get clients with ease, but I also want you to feel good about it. And so that's what this class is meant for. And so, yeah, and also if you want more free stuff, show up. So I keep doing free stuff. All right. But as always, I always like to put this at the end of our talk. And that's that we always offer what I call a free virtual coffee chat. And this is just an opportunity for you guys to tell me more about what you got going on, what your pain points are, what are you struggling with. One, it lets me know what kind of content to put out. I'm just going to be honest with you, but also it allows me to support you. So this isn't actually a typical sales call. That's why it's called a virtual coffee chat and not like discovery call or sales pitch. It's a little different in that we can talk and you're going to get value regardless. But if there is an opportunity for us to help you outsource whatever you're trying to do, I'll let you know. But outside of that, some people leave with just notes and no sales pitch at all. And that's because the whole idea of it is just to be a resource. Again, another free resource, 30-minute chat with me. So come with your questions, comments, concerns. You're able to share your screen, all that fun stuff. All right, guys. All right, that's it for today. Remember, we're here every single Monday night at 7. Not at 7. Jesus, I've been saying it for all this long time and I'm saying the wrong time. We're here every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely remember to join us. Even if you're watching the replay, remember to engage with us in the comment section wherever you are watching. Guys, that is it for tonight. Hope you got a lot out of it. Remember, IROC, you rock, we all rock, and I will see you guys soon. Are you a service-based small business owner, juggling multiple roles and constantly racing against the clock? Make IROC Marketable Business Solution your trusted business partner in achieving business success. We understand the unique challenges you face in managing your business. That's why we offer a range of virtual assistant services tailored just for you. Our virtual assistants are skilled, dedicated, and ready to lighten your workload. Imagine having a partner who can handle your social media management, data entry, and traffic plans. Picture a team that creates engaging video content for your audience. Think about never worrying about administrative tasks again. With IROC, you don't just save time, you gain peace of mind. Our virtual assistants are like an extension of your business, allowing you to focus on what you do best. Join the countless small business owners who have elevated their businesses with our VA services. Ready to take the next step towards business success? Discover how we can make your business journey smoother. Unlock the full potential of your business with IROC Marketable Business Solutions.